after an overnight shift, and I have been neglecting this channel, so I'm, first of all, very sorry. But one of the reasons why is because I was doing like the text to speech thing in Descript for like turning my blogs into, vlogs, basically, where it just read my blog and put video to it, because I'm not an editor, I'm not a videographer. It takes me a very long time to put together a video of my blog, with correct pictures and pacing and all that stuff. It could take me 2 days, 3 days or longer to do it, and then the whole editing process is something else. So I was doing it that way. I recorded my own voice, but that doesn't always really come out properly. Like, the emphasis on the words are not always correct. Some things come out as questions where it's supposed to be a statement, and then sometimes things are like said very flat that should have an emphasis. So I wasn't happy with that, and I just haven't had time to just sit down and record, because thankfully the business is going well. So that's the upside of not being able to pay as much attention to the YouTube channel, is that the business is going well. I've got lots of clients. I'm working with an agency, or partner with an agency, I should say, and that it is going swimmingly. So I really appreciate that. But I did want to come on here because I was thinking about just maybe doing this kind of content where I'm just talking, because it might be easier to digest, and in a space where there is a lot of AI stuff, it just didn't feel authentic and right to continue doing the text to speech type of videos. So I will have a link in the description to my Instagram, and also to my website where my blog and my newsletters live, so that you can go on and read those yourself. I will make an effort to definitely convert those to audio, with maybe some video, but maybe just some audio might be fine, with just like a plain, picture, kind of like those music ones where like you have music to sleep to, because it is nice to be able to listen to the vlogs, if you don't have time to sit down and read them. And if you have little children, that is quite possibly the case. Or if you're like me, I'm on the road a lot, so I do a lot of listening to audiobooks because of that, because I do not have the time to sit down and read, which of course reading is my favorite medium of consuming literature of all kinds and information of all kinds. So that is my introduction, my apology, and I am back. Today I wanted to talk about twins, and one thing in particular, because I am going to do a blog post about this coming up. I wanted to talk about scheduling and twins, and there are many different ways that you can schedule multiples. And there is no wrong or right way. So I will say that from the beginning. Whatever way you choose, if it's working for you, it's the right way to do it for you. Some people have lots of help. Some people have extended family, grandparents, aunts and uncles, friends, sitters, nannies, you name it, they've got it. Others, you don't have access to all of that, and and after, during the day, once your partner, if you have a partner, goes to work, it's just you with these children. And sometimes even at night, the partner, if they're working, or if you're both working, you're trying to sleep through the night, and it's very hard, because the babies are waking up. And that is true when you have one, and it is doubly true, no pun intended, when you have two or more. So one of my suggestions is to try, if you can, to get them on a similar / same schedule. So that would mean that if you are feeding one, you are also feeding the other at the same time, and then diapering and then putting down to sleep. The reason I say this is because I find that while it might be harder at first to do it this way, in the long run, it does provide you with a longer time between feedings and naps that you have to yourself. Whereas, let's say you're putting one down you're feeding one at 1 o'clock, just using a random time, diapering, putting to bed. And then the next one you're feeding at 2 o'clock, diapering and putting to bed. By the time you get that child to bed, maybe it's 3 o'clock, the first child you put down is getting ready to wake up. And you have very little time in between to do anything like brush your teeth, wash bottles, take a nap, take a shower, breathe, eat something. So with that kind of a schedule, you are constantly on, day and night. Whereas if you can get them on a very similar schedule to where you're feeding them at the same time, sorry, I'm a little bouncy here, going through these back roads, feeding them at the same time, diapering, and then putting them down, once they're both asleep, then you have until it's time for them to wake up to yourself. You can shower, you can eat, you can sit outside and look at the stars or at, the clouds going by. You have an hour or so, depending on what time of day it is and how long the nap is, or if it's at nighttime, to yourself to do something that is not requiring you to be a presence for somebody else. And that is the thing, I think, that especially new parents, but not always just new parents, we forget that we also need attention. And sometimes the only person that can give us that attention is ourselves. And so we need to meet our needs so that we can meet our children's needs. And if we are constantly giving, and not getting enough sleep, and not eating, and not having some spiritual quiet time moments, we don't have that love, that care, that patience to give to our children. And it can become where you feel a little resentful, or you're tired and you are sleep deprived, and so you're cranky and you're trying to be nice, but it's just really hard. And just even thinking about it and talking about it, I'm getting this feeling and way of talking that feels very agitated, that our children pick up on, very much so. And they can internalize that. And yes, they're infants. They don't really, they're not analyzing us the way a teenager would. However, from the time children are, I would say, conceived, but definitely from the time that they are born, they are learning. They are learning by the way we respond to them. They are learning by our facial expressions, how we do things. Are we slamming the bottle down because we're so tired? Even though we're trying to speak kindly, are we in this frantic rush all the time? Are we so tired that we're sitting down playing with them, but we're kind of half not there? These are things that they start to learn on a subconscious level, and they take that in as ways that you see them internally. And this is very general speaking. I'm not going into psychology or anything like that. So this is very general speak that I'm having here. But that is why I really advocate for having a same schedule or a similar schedule. And the similar schedule can look like something staggered. And that is to, if you don't want to do them both at the same time, you're definitely working on them within 15 to 20 minutes. So one is at the bottle at 1, and then you diaper, put them down, and then you immediately start with the next child if you can do it that quickly, or you put them in the swing or something while you feed and diaper the other child, and then try to get them down as close together as possible. And then that way it makes it, they're still within, a 20 to 30 minute time frame of each other, so you still do get some time to yourself to reorganize, reset, and get ready for the rest of whatever your day has to offer. So that is what I was thinking about, and definitely wanted to come on here and talk about that with you all. And check out my blog, check out my newsletter, and my Instagram, and I will see you in the next one. I can't promise when it will be. I will try my hardest to do these at least weekly, and then we'll go from there. So it was so good talking to you all today. My name is Janae Leung of Family Holistic Practices, Postpartum Doula Services, and I will see you next time. Have a great day.